A series of recent improvements might keep the 40-year-old M1 Abrams tank in service for decades. The unveiling of the Abrams X marks a significant overhaul that turns the tank from the 1970s into a true example of a 21st-century vehicle. If used, the tank might last well up to the 2050s. General Dynamics Land Systems unveiled the Abrams X in an October 2022 YouTube video before the Association of the United States Army Conference in Washington, D.C., where the aerospace and defense business formally unveiled the next-generation tank. The Army's annual convention is often used to introduce new ideas and doctrines as well as new equipment the service might acquire in the future. It's vital to remember that Abrams X is a manufacturer-led private initiative rather than an official Army program. The M1 Abrams main battle tank has undergone the largest modification since its introduction with Abrams X, which redesigned the vehicle's interior and exterior and added a number of contemporary improvements. The three classic attributes of modern tanks, firepower, protection, and mobility, are all significantly enhanced. The M256 120mm main cannon is replaced by what social media outlets have identified as the XM360 120mm main gun of the next-generation tank. The XM360 was first created for future combat systems, an initiative launched in the early 2000s to replace the Army's current armored vehicles. The program cost $18 billion, but only one operational vehicle was produced. The earlier M256 cartridge is used by the XM360, which has the same caliber. In order to lessen recoil, the XM360 additionally employs a muzzle brake in the pepperpot fashion at the muzzle. Titanium and composite materials are used throughout the gun system to lighten the system as a whole and the vehicle as a whole. According to General Dynamics' press statement, Abrams X has a smaller crew, but it doesn't go into further detail. The commander, gunner, loader, and driver make up the standard Abrams crew. However, more contemporary tanks, including the German Leopard 2, Japanese Type 10, and South Korean K2, also have an automatic loader. 3 crew hatches are also readily seen on the front of the Abrams X. We may infer from this that Abrams X is the first Abrams to use an automatic loader and that the turret, which has been modified and appears to have a lower profile, is completely uncrewed. The commander's M2.50 caliber machine gun and the loader's M247.62mm machine gun have been replaced by what looks to be an XM914 30mm chain gun on the top of the turret of the Abrams X. The XM914 is mounted on a remotely operated gun system, allowing the crew to fire from below inside the hull while employing a thermal imaging system to aim at night and through smoke. As a result, the crew can use the chain gun to engage infantry, drones, soft-skinned vehicles like trucks, and lightly armored vehicles like the Russian BMP-3 infantry battle vehicle while saving main gun ammunition for enemy tanks that pose a similar threat. This inadvertently enhances the main gun's ammunition supply, enabling it to combat additional tanks. Another aspect where Abrams X can improve is protection. The hull keeps the same shape as earlier Abrams tanks, indicating that the level of protection is the same. Although the unmanned turret is not manned, it is said to have an active defense mechanism that shoots down incoming missiles and rockets. The main gun ammunition kept inside the turret may presumably vent upward and away from the crew in the case of an explosion thanks to a sizable topside plate that is likely a blowout panel. Since the 1970s, Abrams X ought to be the mobilest Abrams yet. Depleted uranium armor and other enhancements have made tanks heavier throughout time, raising their weight from 60 to 73.6 tons over the course of 40 years. According to General Dynamics, the new car uses 50% less fuel than the previous model and has a hybrid powertrain. Additionally, some weight is saved. The Abrams usage of a gasoline engine has long been a logistical stumbling block for an army whose entire fleet of vehicles employs diesel, and the tank is the first Abrams to do so. Sensors are yet another crucial component of contemporary tanks, in addition to the big three of firepower, armor, and mobility. According to the YouTube video, Abrams X has an improved silent watch capability that is a relatively new feature that enables the Abrams to use its power-hungry thermal sights without turning on the relatively loud and thermally noticeable gas turbine engine. The new hybrid engine for the tank most likely has a bigger battery pack that can keep these sensors running for longer. The crew of the tank enjoys 360-degree visibility without leaving the vehicle thanks to hardened cameras that are oriented in all directions. Additionally, it appears to feature radar sensors, resembling those found in self-driving automobiles, one of which is directed upward toward the back of the tank. This indicates that top-attack weapons like the American Javelin and Swedish NLAW can be detected and neutralized by Abrams X's active defense system. There will undoubtedly be disagreement over the reduction from 4 to 3 crew members. Because early autoloaders, particularly Soviet autoloaders, were mechanically rudimentary, the U.S. Army favors human loaders. For crew members also mean that there will be more people to keep watch if the tank is forced to stop on an enemy-filled battlefield. But with the advancements in autoloader technology and the new combined arms organization, infantry are always close to tanks. The new crew configuration enables the 3 crew members to work in battle together while sitting side by side as opposed to at separate stations. The cognitive strain on the smaller crew will be lessened, according to General Dynamics, though it is unclear how. The tank can operate alongside unmanned armored vehicles, however it is unclear how a crew of only 3 can combat the tank and an unmanned vehicle. This is perhaps where AI comes into play. In order to replace aging main battle tanks, Chrysler Defense, now General Dynamics Land Systems, first introduced the M1 Abrams in 1979. The M26 Pershing, which debuted in 1945, was the first tank the U.S. Army utilized, and the M60 Patton was the last. From the M26 to the M46, M47, M48, and M60, each tank was a logical development of the one before it. The M1 introduced an angled turret, British-designed Chobham armor, a new ballistic computer, an early thermal imager, and a gasoline-powered turbine engine. It was a clean-sheet design that completely broke with this series. The end result was a tank that was significantly improved in every regard, including protection, speed, sleekness, and ability to battle at night. Over time, the M1 has also undergone a similar metamorphosis. The A1 modification was deployed in the late 1980s and included a new 120mm main cannon as well as depleted uranium armor, which, despite being bulky, greatly increased armor protection. The M1A2 has gradually received upgrades, such as a separate thermal viewer for the commander, a silent watch feature that enables the vehicle to use its thermal sights while off, improved crew ballistic protection, explosive reactive armor to thwart shaped charge weapons, a digital backbone, digital ammunition data link, and most recently the Trophy Active Protection System. The Army has attempted to replace the M1 numerous times with no success, so purchasing another Abrams is the easiest option. According to Janes, the tank is a technological demonstrator and is not yet suitable for use. Although the Army already has a large number of Abrams and has in the past repaired older tanks to save money, remanufacturing Abrams X may not be possible due to the number of improvements made, including new turrets, engines, and main guns. The expected inclusion of equipment like a top-attack active protection and a 30mm chain gun take ideas from the conflict in Ukraine. The Abrams X is more than just a tank for the 21st century. The Abrams platform might last well into the 2050s if it is deployed by the U.S. Army. That's around 50 years more than the tank's original creators anticipated it would last.